Hello, hello, hello. Miss Daylight Clay here, and I'm coming back to you right now to make this Southern homemade dressing. And I got my gloves on because we're going to get down and dirty just like they did it in the South. Okay? Homemade dressing was a luxury. I mean, it was something that, that they put their heart and their soul in. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put my heart and my soul in this dressing right now, and I'm going to make it just like I remember how they made it. And again, as I say, this dressing that I'm making today, it's not a holiday dressing. The holiday dressing normally have cranberries, nuts, raisins. They really exploit the dressing, or they really exploit the cornbread during those holiday seasons. So by this not being the holiday season, I'm just going down and dirty with the basics of it, okay? Okay, so I have most of everything I need on the stove. Now I'm going to turn the camera around. Thumbs up this video. We can really get down and dirty, okay? Homemade Southern style dressing. Here I go. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Okay. And I hope you can see everything pretty good. Okay, number one, what I have some cornbread. And leftover cornbread most likely is the best cornbread. I mean, because once it sits and everything like that, it's really, really good for your dressing. So I'm just going to take all this cornbread left over that I have, and I'm going to crumble it up in my pan. And I chose this pan because you can see more so of the mixtures that I'm doing, okay? So I got the cornbread. I'm crumbling up, and like I say, if you want to add raisins, if you want to add cranberries, if you want to add chicken, or pork, whatever, because sometimes I do add chicken to my dressing. I mean, it just depends. You can make your dressing however you like to make it. But the basic is the cornbread, the lightening of the cornbread, the seasonings, and the number one thing for the stuffing is the sage, okay? Cornbread stuffing. It's not cornbread stuffing without the sage. That's old school, okay? So I'm getting all this leftover cornbread out of here, okay? And I'm putting it in there. And I'm crumbling it up so when I get ready to get all the liquids and eggs into it, it's going to be soft, okay? So then what they would used to do, if they had leftover bread or leftover crackers, they would never throw it away. They would add that to the dressing. So I'm just breaking up some bread. Here I go with the bread. I'm just breaking up some bread and I'm adding to the dressing. I got some bread. So if you have, like I said, a lot of times they didn't throw away food. If they had old bread, not molded bread, okay, not rotten bread, but they had old bread that they hadn't used, probably for 4 or 5 days. No one was eating the bread. They would add that bread. They would save that bread, and they would add that bread to their dressing. And what it does is it gives it a lighter taste, okay? That's what it does. It gives it a lighter taste. So I got some bread here, that I started to eat, hadn't finished eating it. When I say start, I had cooked some bread, and I didn't eat the bread. So I'm adding this bread that I had left over in my refrigerator. I'm adding this bread to the dressing. This is old school, okay? People don't do it like this today, but this is old school. And another thing, you can use whatever seasonings that you like, okay? And when I say whatever seasoning you like, the number one ingredient in dressing is sage, okay? So I have my sage right here, okay? I have my sage, and you have your salt. So the bread and the cornmeal is pretty much mixed together. Okay, I have some crackers. They added crackers. They added crackers to the dressing. Yes, they did. Like I said, and I'm tempted to add some raisins because I like raisins. Like I said, you can add whatever you want to your cornbread. This is a cornbread dressing. This is not a stuffing. This is a cornbread dressing. Okay? This is what this is. So I'm making sure that everything is pretty much ground together. And I have some more cornbread right here. I'm adding all that, okay? I'm adding all of that to it, okay? And all the breads that I have, I'm making sure that they're crumbled, making sure that they're fine. Even though when I put them in the oven, they're all going to cook together, okay? They're all going to cook together. And it's not really a tough job. I mean, it's not really tough to make it. You know, you just have to order it. Get yourself in order to make it. You know, it's preparation. Preparation is everything. Preparation is everything. So I got my light bread, I got my crackers, I got my cornbread. I got all that mixed together. And like I said again, if you want to add some meat to it, because sometimes I add chicken gizzards to my dressing. It just depends on what I feel like. You can add anything you want to your homemade cornbread dressing. There's no rule about what you can add to it. The authenticity of it is to make it homemade. And homemade dressing covers a lot of territory. So I got that added. And I got 2 more slices of bread. This is bread I'm not going to eat. It's not molded. It's not old. It's just you know how sometimes when you open up when you get to the bottom of your bag of your bread, you have those 2 pieces of bread left that nobody's going to eat. Add it to your dressing. Add it to your dressing. You know, you can freeze your bread, and then when you get ready to make your dressing, you can just add it to it. Okay, and again, as I had said before, I always have a to-go-to mixture of seasonings, because I don't like to just get all my seasonings and have all the jars lined up here and I'm shaking, baking. No, I don't like that. So what I do is all the time, I always add my seasonings, all of them together in one container, and then I add that to my mixture. So when I say that, this is really cool. It's all crumbled up. Okay? See, it's all crumbled up. Okay, and here's my seasoning. Okay, here's my seasoning. And what I have in here, I have salt, I have pepper, I have garlic salt, I have cayenne pepper, I have seasoning salt. Okay, now I've added that amount. Now, it won't hurt you to just taste this seasoning. You can taste it to see what it tastes like. And that tastes good. The most of the flavor in here is coming from the seasoned salt. So that I know that the flavor of the seasoning salt is going to be overwhelming. Not overwhelming to a point where it tastes bad or, it's going to take away the flavor, but I love the way it tastes. So, okay. So now, I'm going to mix it all together. Okay? Steady mixing it. Steady mixing it. Steady mixing it. This is homemade. This is the best of the best. This is not a stuffing. This is homemade cornbread dressing. And they always put light bread or crackers. I've never seen it prepared in the South any other way unless they had some type of cornbread, and sometimes they even put sausage in it. So like I say, there's many ways you can make it. You make it to suit yourself, okay? And so now the most powerful element in it is the sage. So here's the sage right here, which gives it that unbeknownst flavor. So I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of sage. That's 2, 3, and that's 4 of sage. Okay? And then, when you see that or when you smell it, it just smells like holiday. That sage just smells like holiday. So I'm going to continue to mix it. Continue to mix it. And I'm not afraid to taste my food. I'm not afraid to taste it, because right now, I want to taste it to make sure that it has enough of the seasonings that I like. I'm going to continue to mix it and stir it and make sure that everything is meeting together and they're all on the same page and they're all in agreement and everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, okay? Okay. So now I got it mixed pretty well, I think. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to taste it. Okay, you always got to taste your food. Always got to taste it. I'm going to taste it. That's too much. That's okay. Here's the taste. Oh, yes. It don't need anything else. That sage is doing its thing. So now what I'm going to do, that's delicious. And like I said, at this point, right here, if you wanted to add anything else to your dressing, chicken, turkey, ham, pork, cranberries, walnuts, raisins, this is where you would add it. For me, I'm going to have plain cornbread dressing because I have some baked chicken in the oven, and I also have a whole sweet potatoes that, just like whole baked potato, I have whole sweet potato. So I'm going to take 2 eggs. Okay, I'm going to take another egg. And the reason why you're adding the eggs is to hold the mixture together, right? It's to hold it together, okay? So I got my eggs in there. I'm just going to squirm it around and make sure that everything gets coated and it's really good. This is a meal that you will love, I tell you. It tastes so good. And what I have on the stove right now, I have some chicken stock. You know, and normally what I would do, I would buy some chicken necks or some chicken backs or, you know, whatever, you know, was affordable at that time. And I would boil that and I would add that to my dressing. But because I didn't purchase any, well, I got some in my freezer, but I got some chicken bouillon cubes. So here we go. So this is chicken stock, okay? This is chicken stock. So I'm going to pour the chicken stock in there, okay? Yes, yes, yes. Gorgeous. And we're going to stir it around until it get really, really, really moist. Okay? You want that liquid to absorb all this deliciousness. So, of course, right now it's not where it's supposed to be because you want it to be liquefied. You want it to be liquefied. So I'm going to add the rest of it. And if I need some more, then I'll just add some more. Because you want it kind of like not soupy, but you want it to be really, really moist. When I say moist, I'll show you the consistency. The consistency should be like this. You know, not stiff. Okay? So I'm going to add some more liquid to it. Because it's not at the consistency that I want. So I'm going to add some more liquid. See the liquid that I'm adding? I'm going to add some more liquid to it. And I'm going to keep stirring it. So everything binds together. And now it's getting to the consistency that I would like to see it. And that's why I put it in this pan. Because I wanted to show you the consistency, okay? See how that looks? See how that looks? That's more or less the consistency that you want. You want everything to bind together, okay? So I'm going to add just a little bit more because we're going to cook this for 30 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes, okay? So now, I'm adding hot water because I did add 5 chicken bouillon cubes to this water. And yeah, that was a lot. So if you can see the consistency of it, it's thinning out. Where all that goodness is mixing in together, all the seasonings. And that's the consistency that I want. Magic, magic, magic. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to hold it up so you can see the consistency. Okay? That's the consistency that I'm looking for. Yes, yes, yes. Don't that look good? Okay. And I have the pan in the oven that I'm going to bake it in, okay? So now, again, what do you have to do? Taste it. Taste it. Make sure it's okay before you put it in the oven. Ooh, child. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, I'm going to add, you see that? So you look at the consistency of it. You just add a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, okay? And I'm going to show you the finished product when it gets out the oven. And this is that, like I said, you can add whatever you want. It's not Christmas, it's not New Year's, it's not Thanksgiving, you know. So sometimes I do a little more when I make my dressing. I'll add some nuts, or I'll add some cranberries, or I'll add some raisins. I'll add some chicken gizzards, chicken livers, whatever I'm feeling like at that time, I would add that, okay? So this is the consistency. I don't know if, look at that. You see that? Okay. And it tastes good, okay? So now what I'm going to do, I have a pan in the oven already hot, and it is oiled because you don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan, okay? So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to just add it to the pan. Add it to the pan. This is going to be so, so good. You know, so, so good. Oh, and that's a full pan right there. That's a full pan. I'm going to put that in the oven. And like I say, I have the chicken and I have the sweet potatoes in the oven as well. And we're going to just put this dressing in there and let it do its thing. Okay. And this is leftover dressing that I'm going to find another container to put it in. And I thank you for watching. And I will be right back when it's time to eat.